Okay, hi everybody. I'm Tom. I'm one of the founders of Zipline, and today, this is automatically scrolling through. Today we are going to be talking about ZipApp, which is a family of services that is designed to make WordPress mobile. Before we kick off with that, though, a bit of a background about Zipline itself. We've been running for 4 years in an agency model. We have 10 years industry experience together. And what we do is we specialize in building online communities for businesses, brands, and organizations. Now, the way that we achieve that is by creating those in the WordPress ecosystem and then adding BuddyPress onto that. And I'm going to focus on that a little bit in a couple of slides' time. Over the 4 years, we've built up a client base and we've built up a software as a service side app as well. But importantly, what we've also built up is a large suite of technology. And one of those pieces of technology emerged about a year ago, and that would allowed us to translate BuddyPress communities into iOS and Android apps using progressive web app technology. That service there has an immediate market of 200,000 community owners, but there's a potential, as we'll see, for a total addressable market of 75 million. So just taking a sideways step to begin with, I just want to talk about why we use WordPress and BuddyPress. The core benefits are it's cost effective. So we can build a community for our clients, which is go-to-market quality and can be developed for as little as £15,000. It's stable, it's secure, and it's future-proof. WordPress itself powers over 30% of all websites. It has a massive developer community behind it, and it allows us to build out a wide range of features and functionality by accessing 50,000 plugins that accompany it. One of the key weaknesses, however, is apps. There's no simple solution to taking a WordPress or a BuddyPress community to the iOS and Android App Store. You either go down a very expensive route of custom development, or you use a cheap solution which results in a highly compromised user experience. One of the questions we ask quite a bit is, why build a community? Now, there are 200,000 active BuddyPress communities, so there are 200,000 reasons why. But I was going to focus on one of them now, which is a community that we built for a client. So back in 2017, Motormouth came to us. They were a startup company looking to create a community for the motor enthusiasts of the world. They realized that Facebook wasn't going to cut it. They had a limited budget, big ideas, but what they needed was to get a community together to help go and get additional funding to push that forward. So they came to us, we built their community, we used WordPress as the CMS foundation, we plugged in BuddyPress, which gave us a whole suite of community-enabled tools. We did our own magic on top of that, and then the output was a fantastic website, which was elegant, easy to use, future-proof, but there was no app. So what we used were responsive web design techniques to make sure that they had a version that looked great on a mobile browser. Motormouth then went away. We didn't hear from them for a bit of time, but they did get their funding, and what they did in their own time was use a third-party service to try and convert that site into an app. The reality was that the result was incredibly poor. It was nowhere near the standard that they would need to be able to take that to the customer, and so they came back to us and talked with us, and we'll see in a bit the results of that. I'm going to have a look at some of the considerations that community owners will want to take on board when looking at an app. So the first off is user attention. So it's like the key stat here is 87% of time spent on a mobile phone is in-app. So you can see if you want to get your user attention, you do kind of need an app. The other is features. There are features that you just can't access from a browser. Things like biometric security, a suitable user interface, one-off access to cameras, notifications, and the list sort of grows out from there. On the business consideration side, though, you then have to take into account cost. So the average cost of developing an app is $270,000, which sounds expensive because it is. And then you also have to look at ongoing maintenance. So the average maintenance cost is 20% of the initial fee. That's to make sure that you stay up to date with the iOS and Android, and also any changes that might be made to your platform as well. So these costs can get eye-watering pretty quickly. And on the other part of it is quality. The reality is, if you have a poorly built app, people aren't going to use it, and not only that, it's probably going to erode the brand experience that you've built up. So what we can see is a market opportunity. There is a need for a service that translates BuddyPress communities into high-quality iOS and Android apps at an affordable price point. With BuddyPress, we have 200,000 active installations out there and a 600 million market. But the real opportunity is to look at WordPress at its core, and then also WooCommerce, which is the e-commerce component of WordPress. And combined, we get a total addressable market, which we can't quite see there, of 19 billion. So the go-to-market service that we're looking at is BuddyApp. So BuddyApp is a software as a service solution designed to translate 200,000 BuddyPress communities into high-quality iOS and Android apps. What the community owner gets is an app that is custom built for them. It's fully native to iOS and Android. It has all the features that they're going to want, so notifications, camera access, location services, so on and so forth. We'll also be providing custom developments. Out of the box, BuddyApp will translate a vanilla version of BuddyPress into an app. But people run custom code, and they'll need sort of some help in configuring that. And that will also be supported by experts who will help them configure their app and to take their app to the iOS and Android App Store. There'll be 24-hour support. The community users, they're going to get their favorite community in their preferred app stores. They're going to get intuitive user interfaces, access to biometric security, device notifications, and some of the features that they'll learn to expect. So infinite scroll, swipe to navigate, pinch to zoom, so on and so forth. Competition here, there are 3 competitors in the market, but what we see with them is none of them are directly focusing on BuddyPress. They're frequently using dated technology. And then in the case of AppPresser, who's on the lower end of the costs, unless you're a skilled developer, you're not going to be able to get much use out of it. So we see the opportunity as having focused services, so a specific service for BuddyPress, and a specific service for WooCommerce and so on. Position in the premium sector, provide fantastic support, and of course, make a quality solution. The next phase is to move into adjacent markets and develop core markets. So we've got BuddyApp, then we will introduce WordPress app and Woo app. What we also have there is the ability to provide additional services as plugins. So someone who's running BuddyApp may well want an e-commerce component, so there's the opportunity to cross-sell within the markets as well. And the other area is to upsell to customers. We've got a whole, as I mentioned earlier on, we've got a whole bunch of technologies. Live chat is a WhatsApp-style service which works across the browser and the app. We've got a suite of plugins, and we can also offer custom development services. The idea there is to leverage our agency experience, and we really see the custom development component working in concert with the software as a service, so that will feed into the core app development. Sales and marketing campaign with a global reach, tailored to each sector, supported by a sales and account management team. You can see the variety of techniques on the left-hand side. They'll be tailored to each individual service because there will be some different requirements. And then over on the right-hand side, you can see the yearly and monthly costs that we'll charge. You'll have a discount by purchasing per year. You can see they fall well below the £270,000 fee. And you can see as well that the lifetime value marks out BuddyApp as a great first go-to-market. This is the monthly net revenue as projected. Just for BuddyApp at the moment, we'll be rolling in the projections for WordPress and WooCommerce in the next few weeks. The important thing to see here is you're making a net monthly revenue of around 120,000 a month with 0.35% of that active BuddyPress base. So the team is myself. So in my previous life, I founded Dub, which was a software as a service company which delivered online communities to the qualitative research industry. My main role is a digital planner and to run operations. Sam, who's sitting here as well, he is the chief developer. He's incredible about everything that he does, and he's provided the foundation that we need to move forward. We've got Deborah, who's a financial advisor I've been working with for the last decade. She is incredible and offers fantastic insights. And we're also supported by Tech Velocity as mentors and advisors. And you can see that the upcoming roles will be in sales and marketing, account management, and development. And finally, the ask that we're looking for is £150,000 to transition Zipline from an agency to a SaaS business. So far, we already have the technology in place, so we can build apps today, and indeed we are building apps today, and we're continuing to develop that, the core technology and the adjacent and the surrounding services. That funding will give us the opportunity to accelerate development for BuddyPress native app, enhance the supporting tools and services, fast-track customer acquisition, and to begin development on the WordPress and WooCommerce solutions. And you can see below the timeline that we're projecting to fit in with that. And that is everything. Thank you very much.